Hey everybody, it's Party Elite, welcoming you back to another episode of our Suzerain live Let's Play. I really need to figure out like a term, live play, something that just rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. My apologies for the slight delay there, folks. Was just making sure everything was up and running smoothly. Those of you that missed the Tuesday stream, just a heads up, you did not miss the Tuesday stream because my internet was basically dead, and so there was no Tuesday stream. So I just wanted to make sure that everything was working okay before we kick things off. Looks like everything is smooth though, y'all. Let me know in chat if you notice any issues as we dive on in. But of course, first things first, I do want to say hello to everybody in chat who's joining in. We got Jazzy B, Vasil Mihai, Sophia Diaz, Grim X, Martha Thea, Emmeline Pearson, Natalie P. We got YouTube Sarko, Dale Stevenson, Ivano Krizanich. I hope I got that correct, man. Correct me, please, if I'm wrong, because I'm almost certainly wrong there. We've got Saketh joining in as well. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Pavle, how's it going? We've got Captain Koala 911 Noah asking late. I mean, a wizard, etc., etc. Y'all know the quote. How's it going? Glad to see so many of you in chat right now. Matthew McCarthy, Alyaz Kastelich, we've got Ugly Melon, I'm sure you're a beautiful melon. Norman Summers, how's it going? Earwig, what is this game? It is a political simulator in a, well, I don't want to call it a fantasy world, but in a made-up world set in a sort of parallel to our 1950s. Xenomorph Winter coming in hot and early with that planned economy sucks. How's it going? Carol Katalik, how's it going? JLT, or is that J Lieutenant? Let me know. Nate 2020, I'm binge watching your Bannerlord series. Aw, sounds good, man. I hope you're enjoying it. What episode are you on? I've really enjoyed that that series. It's been quite the adventure. And Vasil, to answer your question, I did. I liked it. I liked that the other one. I liked the one with the guitar around the campfire, like the pixel art animated one that you sent separately on Discord as well. I think I like that one a lot. That was actually, I could totally get into like that kind of music more often than not. Angel says, again, I might have butchered that. Hi, I love your content. Keep it up. Well, thank you very much. Hope you're all having a beautiful start to your Fridays, and I hope that beauty continues as we dive on into our session today. We're going to do a very short recap. Last session was a bit more, let's say, haphazard. But, last session we were also doing sort of a birthday celebration and whatnot, so there was a lot more stop, go. But today we're probably going to keep our pace up and get a lot more done. I'm thinking the plan for today's stream is a 2-hour session, just so that the length is a bit more reasonable and I'm able to get to some of the other sort of script writing and all that other jazz that I have to do for the channel over the weekend. But yeah, I think a nice 2-hour stream to kick off the weekends or start the Fridays, depending on what time zone you're in. But yeah, this is a political RPG, exactly as Xenomorph Winter there said. So you play as the president of the nation of Sordland, and you have to deal with a variety of circumstances and issues, and every decision you make has consequences. We can in fact see some of our decisions from turn 1 over here in terms of, from winning the elections in 1953, which I guess wasn't really a decision as much as an event that happened. Then we've also got, the new electoral campaign finance bill to pass into law, which has cut off funding access for 2 of the least popular parties. One of them is the Communist Party of Sordland, and the other is the Bludish Workers' Party, I think. But just as a reminder, the Bludish people are folks who have been forced across the border from Wellen over here, and we've welcomed them, of course, as refugees and stuff, and they also have their own, political wing now. This refugee crisis has existed for the last, very long time. Even when we were in service, when we were doing our compulsory military service, we saw an incident involving Bludish refugees. So there is kind of that an ongoing, crisis, if you will, over here. We've also invested in Armadine Industries by purchasing 1,000 shares. These guys came up with pocket radios, which, obviously, I suspect will be successful even in this game. But we have invested in it, so hopefully we'll see some of our personal wealth grow as time goes forward. I decided to meet privately with the CEO of the HOS. That is a massive media conglomerate, or media magnate, media mogul, whichever term you'd rather go with. But the CEO recently became CEO. His father just passed away. No, the circumstances were not suspicious. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? But yeah, so we have agreed to meet with him. We haven't agreed to do any shady deals or anything, but we are prepared for, shady deals to be thrown our way. And of course, we will stay true to our election promises at all times, and we will stay true to the people at all times, and we will not be bribed, we will not be so easily twisted and corrupted. We also have decided, yes, as some of you have pointed out already, to promote a planned economy in the country. That should be interesting. We'll see if that works out. We'll see if that works out. My plan is to keep essential services in government control, and then privatization can, of course, still continue, but with regulations. That way, everyone, like if the government ever has to step in to make sure everyone can get something like, I don't know, let's say healthcare, then, we're in charge of some of those essential services. The H3 highway is an example of an essential service that our government will be taking control over. We commissioned the development, and when I say we, I do mean we, because we voted on it, right? We had that poll. We are building the H3 highway as our first infrastructure project from the term that will connect Lackhaven over here up to Lenkurg and Arvery, the capital of the often neglected Agnland over here, and that'll hopefully improve our relations with Agnolia, a long-term trade partner. And Rumburg. The unfortunate thing is Rumburg is a bit of a threat. Just as a reminder, we don't really get along. Now, hopefully this highway doesn't make it easier for their tanks to come rolling down towards Lackhaven, but that's a problem we'll deal with if we ever have to actually deal with it. Beyond that as well, though, I did declare my intentions to work with the reformists for the constitutional reform. The constitution of our beautiful nation is a little dated and old-fashioned, and it gives the Supreme Court a lot of power over legislation, and it gives the president too much power as well. Now, of course, I am the president, so I have, veto powers and all that kind of stuff, but unfortunately, my, one of the political parties that I want to align myself with, that I want to work with in the Legislative Assembly, in the National Assembly, demand that presidential veto power be reduced. Now, I don't disagree with it, because, if the president can just say no to something that the majority of people have voted on, then that's a kind of a, problematic situation, right? So that's everything that happened that was kind of major, I guess literally noteworthy as per the game's opinion last session. Though something that hasn't been noted is the fact that during my inauguration ball at Hallsword, the party to celebrate the start of our presidency, there was a political assassination. If we take a quick look at someone's surely covered it. Where's our? Hang on, is it? Yeah, we've got the. I was like, did it not save up to date? I could have sworn that the news had already updated with news of the assassination. No, nothing yet. I guess details haven't come out yet, and so I shall not speak on them either, in case it wasn't already clear what's been going down. Who was killed? We will find out. Isn't it in the Radical? That's what I thought. Here they're talking about being upset at me. Here we're talking about being upset at all of us. Traditions of a wasteful nature. No, nothing quite yet. Check the Hallsword Post. Rain spoke of unity. That's our ceremony that put us in charge. Committee of Reforms, electoral funding reform. No, yeah, that's strange. I guess it's not news yet. Ease, quick hi and bye. Closing down work for the day, and then time for some CP 2077 again. Sounds good, man. I hope you're enjoying the game. Thanks for dropping by, and enjoy the Friday and hopefully a nice weekend ahead. But thanks for dropping by, buddy. I forgot about this stream. What a surprise. Hello, everyone. Well, surprise, and welcome to the stream, Sergio LP. Earwig, this sounds amazing. Oh, it's so much fun. And Haldor, glad you can make it today, buddy. Good day indeed. Xenomorph winner. Also, you have unfair elections, and I have to go. I don't know about unfair elections, but have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend as well. Our elections are 100% fair and reasonable. I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, a bill came on my desk. I think I know what you're talking about. A bill arrived on my desk last session, which was asking me to change how parties got their funding based on seats won or based on percentage of votes won. And the reform that was on my table told me to change the system so that, or rather asked to change the system so that funding was based off of seats. My options were either to sign the bill or to veto the bill. And I'm trying to work with the reformists, so, vetoing it would be very much against what they want from me. So I signed the bill, but of course, they're upset at me, because that's not what they meant when they said they want to limit my veto powers. They want me to veto things when it lines up with their policies, but no, when it lines up with our policies, it's a problem. But yeah. How come last night tragedy didn't come up on the media? I think maybe it'll happen after the emergency meeting or something. Maybe it's not triggered yet. Yes, no, YouTube Circle. I remember who got assassinated, but I didn't know if the game already let everybody know. I vaguely remember the game letting everybody know, but I was like, in case it hasn't, then I'll keep it hush-hush for now, but too late now. Pugsy, so what exactly is this game? This is a political role-playing game. Sorry, a role-playing political simulator. Let's call it that, where you play as the president of a made-up nation in a made-up continent, and you try to, bring it back from a horrible recession, and you try to balance its budget, and you try to make sure that you don't get invaded. You have, trade talks and things like that. Very fun game. I've been loving it. Let's go ahead and dive on and actually show some of that gameplay in action, shall we? The music went all dramatic during the incident too. It did. That was really good, eh? Perhaps in the Lackhaven times we could try. I mean, we checked. I think we checked all of them. Yeah. See, we got nothing. Nothing in the news. It's okay. It'll probably pop up after we deal with some of these reports and whatnot. Haldor, speaking of inauguration ball, do you know what Cinderella said when she got to the ball? Oh no. No, what did she say? And can I say... Oh, god damn it. I was about to say, and can I say it out loud? Alright, let's see what's going on over here. Security increased. More like political crisis sim 2020. Saketh, though we have remained non-aligned. That's a good point. We have remained non-aligned. So by that definition, I guess you're not wrong there, Saketh. I guess you're not wrong. Can I share my plans about the future? You mean the future of the nation, or okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, security increased. Security measures at the capital have been heightened after the murder of Bernard Circas. Well, there you go. The mayor of Hallsword reports that everything is under control. Security around the Maroon Palace has been increased with combined efforts of the Hallsword Police Department and the Presidential Guard. Additionally, the entrance procedures to the palace are being revised with advice from security professionals. The police chief, Carl Greiser, reported that an investigation has been launched on the murder of Bernard Circas. So, Buddy here is a poet, a novelist, and a short story writer, as well as a politician. He is very well known as a communist through and through. He joined the Red Youth during the Swedish Civil War. The Red Youth is a political youth organization that is, super communist. His work earned him the description of a romantic communist. I think that kind of tells you everything you need to know about who he was and what might have motivated his assassination. But yes, all right, there you go. So we do know now for sure who was assassinated without a shadow of a doubt. And the future of the nation, we'll see what gets thrown our way, but as I said, hoping to obviously bounce back from the recession. We did make promises with regards to education focuses, so hoping to improve the level of education and also to improve Agenland over here. Again, a neglected part of the country needs some attention to potentially improve our relations at the borders and whatnot. We did, as children, we joined the Red Youth as well. But as with everything, things are a bit of a gradient, and it's quite clear where this circus fellow was on that gradient. No, we did not join the Young Swords. We did not. We've had issues with the Young Swords, but we did not join them. Haldor dropping that angel emote. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, buddy. Where's the whip emote instead? How do you find these kinds of games? Think of it as it's my job, right? To keep an eye out for games like this, games along this genre, and to try and highlight the ones that I feel are worth highlighting, or just pointing out ones that might catch people's eyes. So I guess that's the way to put it. I just every day I look around and keep an eye out. Sometimes developers will reach out to me, which is super helpful, because Well, that's super helpful. And then sometimes I go looking around, my usual haunts. Carlos Alves, first time I catch you live. Unfortunately, I have a test tomorrow, so I can't stay. Nevertheless, have a good live stream in the afternoon. Well, thank you very much, Carlos, and good luck for your test tomorrow on Saturday. Oh, man, good luck. Good luck, buddy. Will you reform this nation into socialist republic? Yes, if the decisions allow us to. I guess, yes, if the decisions allow us to. Again, a bit of like a mix between entirely private and entirely public owned, right? But let's see what this emergency meeting is about at the Situation Room in the Maroon Palace. Though first, my emergency is I need a sip of water, so give me a second here, folks. Oh man, cold water just always hits the spot, I'm a hydro homie through and through sometimes. All right, let's do this. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. My cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Lilius presented the initial report. Just as a reminder, we like Lilius. We get along politically. We have similar ideas, similar opinions on stuff. Oh, right. Also, the Economist newspaper is biased. just slightly. Just slightly. Sounds good, Animator. Glad you could drop by, though. Glad you could drop by. All right. Lilius Graf. Bernard Circus was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of assembly and, as you know, a famous communist. She spat the last word out with some distaste. Lilius Graf goes on to say, the guards of the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as the member of the Nationalist organization, Young Swords. The president and his family were unharmed, praise God. Oh yeah, MN121, MN, I'm joking. I'm playing the character, obviously being upset at newspapers that are biased against me and totally in favor of the ones that are biased for me, obviously. Yeah, just like real life. Now let's see, an MP shot near the palace, that is absolutely unacceptable. I mean, yes. What were the motivations of such a horrid act, but why Bernard Circus, so I wasn't the target? That's a little self-centered. I think it's quite clear that I wasn't the target there. I think it's quite clear also why the Young Swords might take issue with someone like Bernard Circus. Circus, I guess. But let's say what were the motivations of such a horrid act? I feel that's a more general way to speak about the topic at hand. Saketh, no worries, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the day if I don't catch you later in the stream, but thanks for dropping by. Alright, what were the motivations? Our investigators are suspecting a political assassination since the Young Swords have been threatening the communists for some time. Oh, escalating threats to political violence. Keith Thomas, how's it going, buddy? This sets a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence of the 1920s might spark once again. Political violence that we have lived through, people remember. A return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. Peter Vector, and again, just as a reminder, he is our lovely vice president and sort of like best friend since high school. Nia Morgna, the Minister of Justice, sighed. Nia Morgna, there she is. The Red Youth has condemned the killing, but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. This will in turn spark further aggression from the Young Swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Circus expressed his views. We can't simply look away. I don't disagree. She's a politician and attorney from the Swordish region of Bergia, who serves as the Minister of Justice and Law. Well, it's a fitting opinion to have if you're in charge of justice and law. Esteban Velo Antonio, how's it going, buddy? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day. Jazzy, the more things change, the more things stay the same. Oof. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. I was just thinking that. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Good for you. Good for you. Freedom of expression is part of our Constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. I fully agree we should protect the freedom of speech. The millennialist ideology that the Red Youth promotes poses threat to our country too. We should be cautious. The Nationalist Young Swords have overstepped and they should be put under the loop for such extreme actions. I mean, escalating things to violence is never good. fully agree. We should protect freedom of speech. How late am I, Nico? You're not very late at all. We did our recap. We're just looking into the aftermath of the political assassination outside my inauguration ball, so not too much, not too much. Dale Stevenson, I love the storytelling element of the news and bringing in the influencers as well. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Against the River, Nationalists started the violence. Yes, Nationalists did start the violence here. They did overstep, and they should be put under the loop, as this game puts it. Not a turn of phrase I've ever heard or used. However, I feel like 1 and 3 kind of say the same thing. 2 is basically saying, I don't like how they think, so we should shut them up. That's what I'm reading from 2. So I'm thinking it's either 1 or 3, and for me, 1 is a more kind of a holistic statement rather than a targeted statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, number 1 is saying, yes, we should protect the freedom of speech across the board, whereas 3 is saying, those guys, I don't like those guys. You know what I mean? Under the belt loop, oh my god. I was wondering how long it would be before the belt got brought out again. And here it is. I think we'll go with protect freedom of speech. And Dylan M, we are going with the planned economy. We're going to be doing a mixed economy where the government takes care of essential services, and where there's still some privatization, but the government will kind of step in with controls and things like that. I feel like 3 is implicitly supporting the Reds. Yeah, exactly, Esteban. That's a good way to put it. It's like I feel like that it's very, very targeted there, and it's picking a side there. 2 and 3 read like you're taking a side. Exactly, Jazzaby. Yeah, precisely. So I fully agree. We should protect the freedom of speech. I'm so shocked that you survived an assassination attempt, but it's totally on track to have one so early on. I mean, very true. We weren't the target of the assassination attempt. It was this man, Bernard Circus, who is a outspoken communist and a wonderful poet and a writer. He was the target for his political beliefs, it seems. Probably. I fully agree. We should protect freedom of speech. Our laws do, and for good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before, and know very well how it was. I hear your concerns. Our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are re-evaluated. Minister of Defense Josef Lancea grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Now, I don't think we've actually interacted with this man before on stream. Like, I've spoken to him during when I was testing the game before I streamed it last week. But this man is a Swordish national security professional who serves as the Minister of Defense and Security of Sordland. He's been a member of the United Sordland Party since its formation in 1929. So he's probably a bit of an old guard. He became a popular figure after the war and still is well respected among the Nationalists. I do love, by the way, it was mentioned earlier, how in-depth the codex is. I love how in-depth it is, because it really does let you role-play and understand who you're dealing with and how you might feel about them as the character as the president you're playing as. So I do quite love that. Against the River, if we save the Nationalists, they will harm other people's freedom, so saving them is against the freedom of speech. I mean, yeah, so that's why I think a rounded approach is... a rounded statement is the way to go, because we also don't want an escalation. We don't want revenge killings. We don't want any of that nonsense going on. Clearly they mistake him for you, well, except for actually being good at poetry. Hey, Nico. Gabrielle just chiming in to state that using notes is critical. Remember the violence due to racism? I do remember that. Yeah, it's like there are some things that just like register in my head for sure. Like I remember the anti Bludish sentiment and the anti, I mean, it's weird to like mixed heritage sentiment. There we go. That's the phrasing for it. Mixed heritage, I suppose, especially up north. So some of that stuff I've just committed to memory because it's just like, it's too real, I guess. I think it's gonna be something like Yugoslavia. Was Yugoslavia a mixed? I couldn't draw a comparison there personally. The codex will update as well. Oh, that's good. I was wondering about that. Neil W., don't worry, buddy. Not too late at all. Not too late at all. And don't forget, folks, you can follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with the schedules. If you are not following me on Twitter, and if you do not have a Twitter and you would rather not deal with all that, then you can join our Discord, where I also tend to post updates about streams and schedules and things like that. Discord link is also in the description down below. A proper paradox about tolerance and freedom of speech. Oh, yeah. the tolerance paradox. What's it called? Joseph Lancea goes on. Agreed, ma'am. Our gendarmerie will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. It will only add fuel to the fire. Okay, try and swing it. Yeah, it is political though, isn't it? Yes, it is political, but we can make it seem as though it was not to try and, you know, prevent some of the fires from blazing too hot. Wasn't Lancea the last name of the lieutenant who scolded you for letting Bludish refugees in during your military service backstory thing? Yes, I believe it was, yes. Shamira Jones, how's it going? Hello, hello. Hello to you. Alright, it's early, but will we attend the funeral? I intend to attend the funeral for sure. Important political figure. We were previously politically aligned in terms of youth organizations. It is a political assassination. It's important we take a stance against that kind of violence, I would say. But yes, you are right. We need to calm the situation before it escalates. Before it escalates. And it is indeed Joel. Also, hello. Angelo Gabriel, how's it going? Calm the situation. Our government is capable to maintain security. Our job will be to reduce tensions. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace and everyone went silent. Regardless, a full investigation on all involved parties is underway. We will find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I will do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks. Justice will be served, and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. Oh, I know where you're going with that, buddy. Look at that personal agenda on full display. Look at that. And I love these. I mean, again, that might not be intentional, right? The developers might not have intended that with that line, but that's what I love about games like this, is like, depending on where my head is at, like depending on where the player's head is at, that sentence can either be a completely innocent, you know, like, yeah, we should totally keep this in mind, or a very, you know, potentially subversive, like, yes, and let's not forget about military spending, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, during a, you know, moment of, you know, like, somebody just died. I mean, let's not talk about the budget right now. Let's talk about, like, let's talk about the media conversation first, and we'll talk about budget when we have our next budget session. Yeah. It is too soon to jump to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. I agree internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. We should not lose sight of our real political goals like constitutional reforms. It is too soon to jump to conclusions. This could be, you know, a splinter cell, which, by the way, I wish would come back in full force. This could just be a splinter cell acting and operating on its own. It could be one individual who was radicalized in other ways. Let's let the investigation happen, and let's respond based on what the investigation says, is what I say. I think he's playing a sway scheme. Yeah, exactly, Jazzy B, for sure. I think we should slowly shift to, oh dear lord, Haldor, slowly shift to fascist dictatorship. That always works, right? Yeah, slowly, and then at one point the ball drops, and it's like, oh, by the way, I'm king now. Let's not be reckless now. On that note. Agreed. We need to be patient until we have the full picture. Lucien took some notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. It seems that the tensions between the communists and the nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is chaos in the country. We can't pass any constitutional reform in such an atmosphere. We can't fix the recession if there is instability. We will make it through this and deliver our promises. Maybe a little bit of a pep talk over there, I think. A little bit of an uplifting message to counteract that those negative vibes that Nia Morgna is throwing our way. I mean, I don't disagree with her, but listen, we'll make it through this. We'll deliver on our promises. But we got this. Don't worry. We got this. Hell yes, President Rain. This will be it for today, then. We'll convene again soon. Thank you all, and keep us updated. The meeting concluded, and the ministers left the room with concerned looks. It was hard to anticipate what would happen next. All right. Codex entry updated. Oh, does it mention that he's dead? Search for Bernard Circus. I actually do want to see what they say for the update. He was shot when he was leaving Anton Reign's inauguration ball by a member of the Young Swords. He attended and everything. Of course, we're going to attend his funeral. He was there for our inauguration day. How would we miss it? Peter's such a bro. Oh, dude. You ain't seen nothing yet. He is such a bro. He totally is. Sergio here trying to court Marshal Haldor. Nico, while this seems interesting, I'm going to head off and play Prey while watching CP to download. Okay, while waiting for Cyberpunk to download. Sounds good, Nico. Glad you could drop by today. Have yourself a wonderful Friday and a weekend ahead of you. By the way, our country is yellow color and all the other colors are... No, against the river. So these are all the different provinces of our country. And the beige tones outside of the colored territories are the other countries. But yeah, these are our different provinces. Agenland, Nargis, we have Gelsland, Bergia, Hallsword, Lauren, and Gruni. Those are our provinces. It even changes the wording at the start to, oh, was instead of is. Oh, nice touch, nice touch. How far have I played? Not too much MN121MN, not too far. Up to trade talks, if you catch what that means. Because I didn't want to spoil events to play on stream. I feel like it's more fun if, things catch me by surprise, right? Sorry, Sergio, I think I missed a message. Force what there? Hey, all of the great, how's it going, man? How's it going? Oh, there's some news. Lackhaven Times. There it is. Murder at the Palace. Breaking news. Bernard Circus, a prominent independent MP known for his communist romanticism, has been murdered, leaving the Maroon Palace grounds after the inauguration ball of Anton Reign. Has been murdered, leaving the Maroon Palace grounds after the inauguration ball of Anton Reign. Reports indicate a politically motivated assault by the far-right nationalists of the Young Swords. Shocking photographs have been leaked to the press showing blood-dripped stairs of the Maroon Palace. We heavily condemn this sort of political violence. This is the very cycle the president must break with reforms. I don't disagree. Moving onwards. A few days later. Is the Confederation a federation or a republic? There are no provincial governments. I just realized that, actually. At least as far as I've seen, there's no provincial, there are no provincial level politics. I guess it's all centralized. Good question. Jazzy B. I've played much further, but I made different choices early on, so it'll be fun to see what... Yeah, exactly. I am excited to see how different paths end up being. All right, let's see. What are the updates across the realm? There's some conversations across the border and some things internal. We'll take a look at internal reports first, and then we'll deal with, foreign affairs. So first of all, up over here at Estord. Police overburdened in Estord. We've been receiving reports of a lack of equipment and staff from the police forces in Estord. With the escalating violence in the city, the officers have been working 12-hour shifts to suppress the protests to no avail. The police commissioner of Estord has requested reinforcements and extra supplies of tear gas from nearby cities. Oh dear. Oh dear, what's going on up over there? Down over here at Narbel, police understaffed. Well, this sounds like a new problem that's going to be hitting us. Narbel has reported that it is currently too understaffed to deal with the ongoing political violence. Due to the small size of the police force in the city, they have been working non-stop, and a number of officers were sent to the hospital as a result of severe fatigue. Yikes. The Minister of the Interior, Lilias Graf, has been working with Head of Police Carl Greiser to address the issue. Yikes, man, yikes. Fatigue is no joke. Fatigue is no joke. Country is that centralized since the state appoints who the mayor and the governors are. Yeah, I suppose so. BM, how's it going, man? Good morning. Hope you're having a good day. And Abdul Rahman Alenzi, hello, hello. How goes, buddy? How goes? Down over here at Uzi Ren, which only makes me think about the gun. Young Swords Youth Wing leader dead after terror attack. Oh no. Local Young Swords Youth Wing leader in Uzi Ren, Yak Toiren, has claimed responsibility for the organized attack in the Bludish market that resulted in the death of 7. His base of operations have been raided, and he was found dead inside with 2 bullet wounds to the back of the head. The scene was organized to make it look like a suicide. Well, they kind of missed a crucial element there in making it look like a suicide. And it tends to happen a lot, doesn't it? We were not able to get information about the location of other ringleaders connected to the terrorist attack. Things are heating up, yeah. I read that out of the side of my eye, Haldor, and I read that as things are looking up, and I'm like, what? Yes, things are definitely heating up. Definitely heating up. So this was, this might have been back-to-back terrorist attacks there, but we're only talking about the one. Illegal KA-74s seized. I do love, I forget the full form of the KA, but it does have a full form. We'll find out eventually. A cache found with Rumburg-made weapons included 46 KA-74s, 2,854 bullets, 12 handguns, 27 grenades, and bomb-making equipment was found in the basement of an abandoned house in Suzerain. No suspects have been detained yet. The investigation is ongoing to determine the origins of the equipment. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yeah, well, the first bullet missed, Haldor. The first bullet missed. Is army controlled by nationalists? It's possible. I mean, ultimately, it's controlled by us, I suppose, but the person in charge of our... The Minister of Defense is well known to be popular among the nationalists. Alex Anderson, going pretty well. How about yourself, buddy? There are three factions within the party: Old Guard Reformists and the other one. Old Guard Reformists and the other one, indeed. Oligarchs. Yeah. We should remove him. I mean, he's popular among a group. That doesn't necessarily mean grounds for removal. We'll see. We'll see how he stands. The nationalists do have their own party as well. Yeah, but there's a nationalist wing in our own party too. It's just not as nationalist. You know, it's like I say, it's all gradient, I suppose. Rumburg is trying to pull a Russia on you. Rumburg is up to something for sure. Remember, these are the only guys who did not congratulate us on our victory, and our relations with them have historically been poor. So, and also, it seems as though they are a constitutional monarchy. I was like, conservative monarchy? What's that? No, yeah, it's a constitutional monarchy. So, you know, that's the thing. Down over here, what's going on over here? Communist Party leader suspected of bomb attack. Oh no, oh no. Oh no, at 11:48 a.m. an unattended bag in front of the NFP office in Valgen was destroyed by the police on suspicions of a bomb threat, which were then verified. Upon further investigation, the Communist Party leader of Valgen, Milt Hanu, has been arrested in connection to the incident. Okay, he's been arrested, not charged, but he's a suspect, which is problematic enough. Problematic enough. This is my first time tuning into a non-Planet Zoo related live stream. Love it. Keep up the great work. Well, hey, glad you could drop in. Glad you could drop by. Hope you're having a good time. This is a notification on the Republic. Yeah. We're doing internal affairs first, Neil, and then we'll take a look at external affairs afterwards. I believe that is all of the internal... Nope, there's something right by our capital. Weapons seized in cultural center. Oh, dear Lord. Local police forces report that a wardrobe full of heavy military equipment has been seized in a Young Swords cultural center in Gen. Regulars of the place denied having any knowledge about the weapons. The owners of the building have been detained along with 13 other people. The police captured 22 rifles and 2 machine guns. The equipment belonged to the Sordish Armed Forces, dated 1929, but kept in very good condition. Oh, man. Oh, man. Looks like the bombs are your welcome to office fireworks. Yeah, Natalie, seems to be the case. Seems to be the case. I don't think these rifles are BB guns, though. Oh, this is problematic. Oh, and something up over here at Ribery. More illegal firearms found in Communist Party office. Oh, Lord. In the party office, the Ribery Police Department raided the local Communist Party office after alleged attacks organized by one of their members and found illegal firearms in the office. The building has been closed, and 22 members of the Communist Party of Sordland have been detained. Yikes. Yeah, I gotta shut this nonsense down. This is escalating extremely quickly. Maybe cutting the funds for the communists and fascists has forced them out of parliamentary activity, and because of this, they're starting the violence. Well, no. So the communists are the only ones who were hurt by the electoral reform. It was the communist and the Bludish. I keep forgetting. Let me see. The Bludish Freedom Party. No, not the Bludish Freedom Party. Sorry, the Bludish, the Workers' Party of Bludia. There we go. These guys suffered under our under our electoral reform, and they are not. They are generally left wing, but they're not the communists that are involved in this violence. That's the Red Youth. So no, it's not related to our political. Well, it might be somewhat related. Maybe the Red Youth are responding to it, but the Young Swords are not connected to that reform for sure. For sure. Yeah, the Reds and the. Every time I have to say Bloods, I want to say Bloods, like, you know, like the Bloods. It just throws me off every time. But yeah, everybody is militarizing for sure. It does bode ill. What else? Hopefully something bodes well from outside the nation, though. The Republic des Agnolia. Let us speak. Putin critiques trade. Oh, god damn it. Looking for some positive vibes. The leader of Agnolia has diplomatically critiqued the imbalance of trade between our countries. Concerns were raised over how much more Sordland profits from net trade in comparison to Agnolia. Prime Minister Martin van Horten requests a fair reevaluation of existing treaties in future negotiations. Okay, we can certainly look at that. I mean, they will look favorably upon our highway construction over here, so maybe we can get something out of that. Better to have a more favorable trade deal rather than no trade deal at all, you know what I mean? And then down over here, Wellen is wailing for our attention too. What do they have to say? Smolak warns traders. That's always good. That's always good. The latest diplomatic message from the leader of Wellen warned us regarding a pathway from the mountains of Bergia that allowed traders of the state escaping Sordland. President Viktor Smolak has demanded that the border security be increased. He also sent his best wishes about handling the protest in Sordland. I imagine the traders he's talking about are the refugees. Yeah, news. Oh, well, I was seeing the news. Don't worry. Well, we're doing everything. We're doing everything. We're tackling everything in due time. I just want to, because that has implications to like when we were young as well, right? Like our prior actions during the prologue. You know what I mean? Warning. Yeah, exactly. Warning following the congratulations. Like, well, what kind of a congratulations was it? Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the news now. The Hallsword Post. Swordish politician shot dead. A Swordish poet and politician who had spoken about the idea of the dictatorship of the proletariat was shot during the evening of Anton Reign's inauguration ball. Bernard Circas, a 53-year-old Swordish member of Assembly, was shot a number of times by a gunman at the entrance of the Maroon Palace, who was identified to be a member of the Young Swords. Despite his radical views, Mr. Circus was elected to be an independent member of Assembly in the 1953 elections and sadly did not manage to live long enough to serve his duty. He was said to have repeatedly received threats from Swordish nationalists who viewed him as a traitor for promoting Millennialism in Sordland. What is Millennialism? We'll learn in a moment. Television footage showed the famous poet's body lying face down, draped with a white sheet, on the pavement in front of the gates of the Maroon Palace. Lilias Graf, the interior minister, said she had assigned a group of leading ministry officials to lead the hunt for the killers. Once again, dark hands have chosen our country and spilled blood in Hallsword to achieve their dark goals, she told a news conference. We are investigating all aspects of this crime. His funeral will be held tomorrow in his home city, Dare. The local police have reported to have increased security measures for the ceremony and stand ready for a massive attendance. Oh lord. Classified, how's it going, buddy? Millennialism is a communist theory as advocated by Konstantin revolutionary Leon Maleyev. Maleyev developed it as a variant of Carlos Marcia's theory of Marcian socioeconomics. He supported founding a vanguard party of the proletariat, a proletarian internationalism, and a dictatorship of the proletariat based on working class self-emancipation and mass democracy. Critical of the theory of socialism in one country in favor of Maleniev's theory of permanent revolution. He argues a need to give support for social revolution in the advanced capitalist countries through working-class mass action and support for internationalism. Malenievist industrialization officially designed to accelerate the development towards communism, stressing the need for such rapid industrialization on the grounds that the United Contana was previously economically behind in comparison to Western countries, and asserting that a socialist society needed industry in order to face the challenges posed by internal and external enemies of communism. It is currently one of the most popular theories of Marxian socioeconomics, being followed by a number of nations around the globe. It is also responsible for causing socialist revolutions in farther countries like Volksland during the Century of Revolutions. Backstory there. Leninism, sort of. Trotskyism, basically. Trotskyism. Oh man, Trotskyism. This is where I always again, I need to clarify this. I'm no pol-sci major. I have an understanding of politics to a degree. Not with a degree, but to a degree. So this is definitely where some of my knowledge gets a little fuzzy when it comes to all these subdivisions of communist parties and whatnot. I think it's a mash of both. Yeah, it does. It sounds a little like a little bit of a love child, I guess. A little bit of a love child. All right, let's see. Sordland today. What do you have to say? Unity despite differences. Sordland has two paths to the future, and this year is critical to decide which path we embark upon. Amid a recession, the lack of stability and security caused by the death of Bernard Circus is an unacceptable reality. We need more jobs and a safe atmosphere if our country is supposed to grow and prosper. But how will we increase our employment and open new factories if there is blood flowing down the streets? Sordland will never reach its goals as an advanced society if we descend in a downward spiral of a splintering of our nation. Peace and prosperity now and forever. Let's not get too political in chat. I know it's weird to say that while we're playing a political role-playing game, but let's stick to in-game references. Lackhaven times. Welcome back, Vasil. How's it going, man? The tensions between the left and right extremists have increased in the country after the assassination of MP Bernard Circus. Protests of Malenievist groups quickly turned into riots around the country. We're calling for peaceful protests and dialogue instead of violence. After the attack that prompted the riots, a member of Young Swords assassinating a member of Assembly clearly shows that they are willing to use extreme actions, said Franz Richter in his speech in the Grand National Assembly. Franz Richter is the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party. That is the left-leaning party in our parliament, in our assembly. Political. Man, I'm out of ingredients for tea again, Natalie. Can you imagine it? Let's see. We live within these borders together, and therefore we all bear a responsibility, a duty to live together with our differences. Richter's unifying message is something that we all should listen to in these times of danger of loss. The murder was a method of the past, and it has tainted us, reminded us of who we were before and who we don't want to become in the future, said Richter, and stated that we, as the citizens of this nation, all bear a responsibility beyond ideologies, partisanship, or any other identity. I mean, we've often spoken about unity. In fact, I believe our inauguration speech talked about unity as well. So I'm very much on board with Richter's statements here. Yeah, exactly, Natalie. It's a double-edged sword. Enjoying tea, enjoying anything really. The Radical has this to say: farewell, Bernard Circus. It is a sad moment for Sordland. We have lost a renowned poet who not only wrote about the struggles of the working class, but also acted on them. However, his decision to enter Swordish politics was met with a sick attack that ended his life. This was indeed intended as a message to all opposing voices in Sordland. We, the team here at the Radical, condemn this evil act of terror of the Young Swords, who we believe must be held accountable as a whole group. It is finally the time for the government to realize this organization as a terrorist threat and serve the justice that is due. Bernard Circus is always going to be in our hearts as a great Swordish poet, as a revolutionary, as the leader of the Swordish avant-garde, as a futurist, as a romantic, as a millennialist, but beyond all, as a symbol of freedom of speech. He is now a man who is murdered for speaking his mind. This cannot remain as yet another political murder of the sad reality of Sordland. In fact, it is time to change this. It is time to speak up as people. The most beautiful sea hasn't been crossed yet, said the great poet, reminding us to always have hope. And we must strive to have hope and to make them a reality. It is the best way to honor his memory. Bernard's circus will be laid down in Dare tomorrow. Any citizen who wants to pay respects is invited to attend. What does the Economist have to say? If you speak a little slower, sound like a legit president's speech. Yeah, I can slow it down. He is the leader of the opposition party, yes, and he does definitely seem like an ally. We have some political overlap in terms of opinion. We are working with them to create the reforms to our constitution. So, yeah, definitely a bit of an ally there. The only way out of recession, bailing out businesses. Just as a reminder about The Economist. Sordland's economy has been displaying a downward trend over the past 2 years of Alfonso's presidency. If we want to prevent our country from declaring bankruptcy, we need a way out of this recession, and we need it now. The economic downturn keeps hitting hard at the businesses which are struggling to stay afloat. It is clear that a helping hand from the government is required to control the situation. There is no other way apart from bailing out businesses to truly provide relief to the economy. This, in turn, should revitalize the economy by creating more employment opportunities and increasing production in Sordland. No report on the murder that just happened, eh? No talk about dude that was literally just murdered in cold blood. Nothing. No, you got nothing, Economists. Okay, fair enough. Good stuff. I believe those are all of the issues taken care of. Back to our capital, where the story moves forward. Reports of BFF activity in the capital. These are not our best friends forever. It is the Bludish Freedom Front. The chief of police, Karl Grieser, reports that 2 Bludish women with affiliations to the Bludish Freedom Front have been caught in Hulsord before they could execute a terror attack at a crowded rally. Both women are listed as wanted criminals and enemies of the state. The arrested women have admitted their intentions to attack the National Front Party's rally at Sol Square when Kisaro Kibner gave his speech but rejected any connections to the BFF. Both claimed that they were acting alone. Police reports that the situation is under control and further investigations are underway. So, this is a militant and political organization based in the Bludish regions of Sordland and Welen, and since the Izam incident in 1933, the BFF has been involved in an armed conflict with the Sordish state, with an aim of achieving an independent Bludish state. So we are looking at a separatist element within our nation. So, you know, if we were to put a label on the BFF, very much not our best friends forever. They are separatists, and that is obviously a direct polar opposite of our calls for unity and togetherness. Make a necklace with 2 halves. That should work. Just a good way to get along. Yeah, just make a little necklace, a pendant with 2 halves. Holding responsible as a group. Sorry, I missed. What are you referring to there, Carol? Esteban says the radical is pretty biased itself. PE biased? I don't know what you're talking about. Bipartisanship, the only way to diffuse the situation. Remember when speaking to shake the watermelon and push the thumbtack? What? Take your glasses off in a swaying motion to prove a point? I get that part, but wait, shake the water. Oh, wait, push the thumbtack. I don't understand that. Push the thumbtack? I understand shake the watermelon, and that's hilarious. I'm like doing the hand motion. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But wait, push the thumbtack. What? Yes, Stevan, it really does. It really does. It touches on some very interesting topics, and it does a good job of like dissociating itself. And very often you'll find yourself questioning what is right. Sometimes it seems obvious, and then it all, you know, cuts you at your knees. Radical said young swords should be held responsible as a group. I see what you're talking about. As was stated earlier, every paper has its biases, right? All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and let's put family first for a moment. We've been dealing with work a lot. Dinner with the family at home. Let's see if the belt stays on. After a long day at the palace, I was finally home. I thanked Serge and walked through the front gates, nodding at the 2 guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I could hear Deanna rushing down the stairs to greet me. Ah, classified. Okay, I got you. Okay, gotcha. I was thinking, I was like, what? The thumb pointing in a forward direction, but I see what you're talking about now. Gotcha. Hopefully I don't have to push the thumb against anyone in the family today. Getting all upset about a political assassination. Come on, relax, everything's fine. I opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. Papa, you're home. You can see the dichotomy being presented over here. Beautiful princess, my little bright one. Lift and hug her. You know what? Sometimes the best decision is neither. I wonder what the consequences are for either of these. Okay, what would I actually say? What would I actually say? So far, she's my daughter, right? And I'm very much influenced by my wife, I would imagine, as far as these conversations come. So over the last however many years of being married and together, I think I would call her my little bright one, or lift and hug her. And I'm going to go ahead and lift and hug her because the first two also sounds to me like how I might speak to my pet when I come home from work. Like, you know, who's a good boy kind of a thing. Whereas lift and hug her, nah, who am I kidding? I would do 3 for my pets as well. Gotta go with 3, I think. Oh, looks like some of y'all in chat agree as well. Gotta go pick up groceries from my parents. Have a nice day. Well, enjoy David B. Stay safe out there and have a nice day yourself. If I don't catch you later, have yourself a wonderful weekend too. There's my beautiful princess. Lift and hug her. Maybe that opens up more options for longer. I lifted Deanna up and hugged her while trying to put the keys in the tray next to the entrance. Oh no, watch, I drop both. Oh god, I hope not. No, okay. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was. Aw, what a wholesome moment. Oof, that's enough of that. You're a big girl now. No, how is school? Oh, we're a strong president. We can lift our daughter for at least one more year. How is school? Boring. I like my old school better. Okay. I'll put her down and her expression turned serious. Yo, what? Why? Oh, okay. Papa, are the bad men gone? My back forever crippled by the decision. Yeah. Oh god, your papa took care of everything. I will never let anyone hurt you ever. It was only one bad man, and yes, he's gone now. Yeah, these are all lies. These are all lies. Lifts and hugs, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what is this knave doing? Let me down this instant. I mean, sometimes she definitely behaves that way, but more often than not, she enjoys it. For those that don't know, Elizabeth is the royal of this house, the pet rabbit, our wonderful pet rabbit. Oh yeah, the economist. Yeah, they are both very, very biased. Yeah, I was just joking because I keep pointing out that that the economists are biased, but I don't point out the biases of the other newspapers. They are all lies. They are. It was only one bad man. I mean, is that true? You know, like, violence is erupting across the nation from both sides of the field. So it's that bad man is gone. Gone is also, you know, sugarcoating it. But it wasn't only one bad man. Yeah, exactly, Haldor. Yeah, he's gone. We killed him. Your papa took care of everything. Seems angry. Oh, interesting, YouTube Sarko. I did not read it as angry. I read it more as like, yes, I took care of everything. But I see what you're saying. It's sort of more like a yes, your papa took care of everything. I see what you're saying. No, okay. I'm leaning. Yeah, I guess I think one is the least of a lie. I will never let anyone hurt you ever. Just to clarify, it's just like that's a promise that you might not be able to keep. Never make a promise you can't keep is something I personally live by, and I try to stick by. It was only one bad man, Deanna, and yes, he's gone now. I suppose is the best way. I feel like 2 is more of a hopeful promise than a lie. I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying. But how do I feel? Do I feel like I'm capable of making that my truth? I'm gonna go with, well, this is a tough choice. It's not even a political choice. It probably won't even make a difference. But this is what I love about this game. It's like a moment like this for me is just like, I don't know which one. Let's go with 1. I'm gonna go with 1. It was only one bad man, Deanna, and yes, he's gone now. She doesn't need to know about the greater problem in the nation. She's too young for that, right? That exactly. There was only one that night. Guy, here I am bending the truth. Yeah. Okay, Papa. All right, good. Deanna dashed down the hallway. I was almost expecting a follow-up. Oh, by the way, also, where do babies come from? Mama, Papa's here. Monica appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula in her hand. Deanna, what did I tell you? No running in the house. Yes, Mama. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. A tantalizing smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. Darling, you shouldn't have. What do we have a cook for? That ain't right. How was your day? I'm hungry. When's dinner? No. How was your day, dear? Can you use number keys? Time to find out. Number 2. Yes, you can. There you go. There you go. How was your day, dear? Terrific. I finally got to do some grocery shopping, just like the old times, and I'm making your favorite. Ooh, that's interesting. Has the game not used British spellings all the way through? Am I mistaken? Wild. Okay, interesting. Or do I not know how to spell favorite? I mean, I know there's 2 ways to. Y'all know what I'm getting at. Y'all know what I'm getting at. You mean? Yes, Svabli. Is that a real thing? Does anybody know if that's a real thing? There have been some typos here and there. Well, I mean, this is an interesting. It might have been like an autocorrect problem because I mean, it's. I'm just curious about which English they're going with. Svabli. Never heard that. Was a classic whole sort delicacy. Vegetables and creamy sheep cheese sandwiched between thin layers of dough. Sounds interesting. Is sheep cheese similar to goat cheese? It's fictional stuff. Okay. Yeah, I've grown up with British spellings and British pronunciations. I get a lot of crap for saying dynasty as opposed to dynasty. It's kind of funny actually. And like aluminium as opposed to aluminum, or my spellings. Because in Canada it's a pretty mixed bag. We do a bit of both kind of a thing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Svabli is a real thing. Looks like it's a made-up thing. I wonder if it's based on a real thing, though. It was absolutely my favorite dish, especially paired with kebij, a potent, unfiltered wine from Bergia. All right? It's my lucky day. What's the occasion? Where's the kebij? Kiss her on the cheek. Gonna kiss her on the cheek to say thank you for the meal. I kissed Monica on the cheek. I just wanted to cheer everyone up a bit. Aw. Her smile faded, and she lowered her voice so that Deanna wouldn't hear. Especially after what happened at the ball. I'm worried, Anton. For you, for the children, and for the country. Deanna suddenly appeared next to us. Mama! Yes, sweetheart? I'm hungry. We'll eat in just a minute. Will you help me set the table? Anton, can you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Monica started taking out the china while I headed upstairs to fetch my son. A fancy meal. Loud rock and roll music echoed down the hallway from his room. I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. It's 53. What's he listening to? Rock and roll from the 50s. What are we thinking about? What are we thinking there? Classified option 4, pinch her on the cheek, of course. Which cheek? I don't know what you're talking about. Because they're close to how we spell. Oh, sorry. Ah, yes, the one. Yeah, I hear that. I'd say sheep cheese is more mild in flavor compared to goat. Has far more. I need to try sheep cheese. I like goat cheese. I used to not as a child, but I've grown to like it over time. Oh yeah, the Z and the S as well. That's another one. Time to bring out the. Oh dear, the Beach Boys, Elvis, Beatles. I used to listen to a fair bit of 50s rock and roll. I listening to Dad's music and all that. Still listen to it from time to time. Just wondering what Frank might be listening to. I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. I think is also an important part over here. Wealth is very low. Oh yeah. Well, that's because we invested. Don't worry, AVK Filming. That's an investment that's hopefully gonna turn around. Open the door. Nah, you never do that. Knock on the door. Come on. He deserves his privacy. There was no response. Knock on the door again. There was still no response. Okay, I can be patient. Bang on the door. Oh, what's What's more patient here? Bang on the door in my head is just knocking louder as opposed to yelling at him. They're not the Beatles, they're the Punchels. Oh my lord. Give them the talk. We'll bang on the door. I think that's less angry than yelling. The stereo in Frank's room clicked off. All right. He unlocked and opened the door. Oh, look at that. He's got good stuff. He's got a locked door. Good stuff. What do you want? Food is ready. Turn those records up louder next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors heard. That's definitely sarcastic. I am your father, and you will respond when I ask for you. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner. Frank, how old are you, buddy? High school. Is that age? Good luck, Alex. Right now? Well, good luck, buddy. Good luck. Natalie, I missed your message, damn. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner, or food is ready. Food is ready is very curt. Fairy godparents, I respect your privacy by knocking, but as your father, I assert my authority by coming in anyway. Oh, dear. I don't remember that quote. Good cartoon, though. Yeah, 4, I think, is... One is like... One to me sounds like, you know, like knock, knock, knock. What do you want? Food is ready. You know, like a... That's the thing, like, I want to let him slide. I don't want to be like, hand over those cigarettes. But... I think that one, it's so hard, like, this is the thing about text, right? It's like, are we saying, hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner? Or are we saying, hand over your cigarettes and join your family for dinner, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Guess I'm gonna go with 4. Ah, he's just gonna get upset, isn't he? It's all about the tone here. Let's go with 4. That seems to be... It's a mixed consensus in chat. No, I'm not going to use the sarcasm, or maybe I need the cigarette for myself. Honestly, I feel like it. Typical Majesty. A party at school, but definitely love the stream. I'll have to catch the VOD later. Sounds good, buddy. Enjoy the day of school. Weekend ahead of you. VOD will be up right after the stream is done. All right, Frank. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner. Come now. You smoke, don't you? I'm old enough to do what I want. This is not what I expected. Oh, as long as you live in this house, you'll do as I command. I'm trying to quit that nasty habit. You ought to stop while you still can. I'm just asking you to wait until you're out of the house. Oh, damn. Okay. Am I trying to quit that nasty habit? You ought to stop while you still can. I mean, that's probably sound advice. Dude, totally. Joel, that's... I mean, honestly, that is maybe one of my favorite parts of this game. Just, like, being a family man is harder than making some political decisions sometimes. I'm gonna go with 2, I think. Yeah, 1 is definitely rage. Yeah, 1 is not. 1 is just, like, gonna... He'll be like, fine, then I guess I'll smoke, you know, outside the house, you know, out of sight of all the guards and everything, and he'll find himself in trouble. And it's one of those things that's like, I'd rather you drink at home... Or, like, I'd rather you know it's safe to come home drunk than sleep on a park bench or something and get in trouble, right? It's like, it's that kind of a thing, potentially. Am I trying to quit that nasty habit? We're not really, like, the playboy type or anything like that in terms of what's in character. 3 feels like it respects his choice but seeks common ground. But it also pushes him out of the house, you know? I see what you're saying, but it also feels like... It seems the same as, like, under my roof, it's my rules, which is... Well, you lied to Deanna, lied to Frank. You know what? Equality above all. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm trying to quit that nasty habit. You ought to stop while you still can. Who didn't smoke in the 50s? I mean... Children? You ought to stop while you still can, son. Frank heaved a sigh, handed me the packet, and headed downstairs. I followed him to the living room. Oh man, this is, I don't know how that's gonna turn out. 3 sets of bad precedent. Yeah, to me it sounds just the same as like Under My Roof. My dad started smoking at 8 years old in the 60s. Damn, yeah, I know a lot of people who have had or have been smoking since the very early days. Or read it as no smoking inside, not as in when you move out. Yeah, that's what I think. I think so, at least that's the bond. That's what it reads like to me. Yeah. My 50s doctor says that smoking is safe. In fact, your 50s doctor probably promotes smoking. When I'm stressed out, I like to have a pack of, I don't know, Lucky Strikes. I don't know. This is not sponsored by Lucky Strikes. Are they even still a thing, by the way? The table was prepared and Monica was ladling food onto the plates. Come on, have a seat. It won't be as tasty if it's cold. As we started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was as delicious as ever, but I had the feeling that wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. Say, did you know that they refurbished the grocery store? I don't know if you remember the owner. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 20 years, for example? 20 years of this, I'd be dead. Why not? We could live like kings. Honestly, would that really be so bad? I don't want this country to suffer under another soul. See, now there's a president for 20 years with unchecked powers is terrifying. 20 years of this, I'd be dead. Yeah, I'd probably get assassinated. I don't want to mention death around the table right now. ASDF Samurai, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. I just noticed that the notification wasn't centered, and that is just not something I can have here. Why are you not centered, buddy? There we go. That should do the trick. Sorry, I just noticed that, and that's a problem for me. But thank you very much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying, buddy. I hope you're enjoying. Looks like PartyBot missed the memo there. Oh, you know what's up. You know what's up. PartyBot is for some reason not working here. Just gonna see what's going on there. The way things are going, you probably would be dead. Honestly, I probably would laugh it off. Monica was reluctant, if you recall, to stay president for too long. I actually don't recall that. I guess 3 is kind of like laughing it off. I feel like we could definitely go with that. I feel like it's gonna instigate the conversation in a certain direction. Dead like Bernard Circus, something like that, you know? Alternative career as a grocer. Yeah, if this doesn't work out. See, I think about like the no term limit conversation, which is different, I guess. I need to keep thinking, because prime ministers typically don't have term limits, as far as I know. Canada most certainly does not have a term limit for a prime minister, but that is a prime minister, very different from a president. I would say 2 in that case. 2 is a little serious, but 3, I don't want to mention death, is what I'm thinking. Is the only thing that's stopping me from saying that. Like, me in real life, I would totally make that joke, and then everyone around the table would go quiet, and they'd be like, seriously, you're gonna make that joke a couple days after what just happened? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with 2. It is a bit too serious, maybe, but it keeps the conversation away from potential problem. I don't want this country to suffer under another soul. Get it? Like the soul of a boot? Huh? Agreed. That must never happen again. Anyway, the grocer really is a nice person. He threw in some extra vegetables with my... Frank suddenly slammed his hands on the table, rattling the china. Monica, Deanna, and I stared at him. I saw this coming. So this is how it's going to be? We're just going to sit here like nothing happened? Dad, you could have been killed. Mom could have been killed. Any one of us could have died. Deanna's lower lip starts trembling. Monica put her hand on Frank's shoulder. Ooh, seems we're here anyway. I thought there has been a 3-term prime minister. I don't think there's a limit, though. But yes, good morning, Spindle. How's it going, buddy? Glad you could join in today. Having a good week, I hope. Having a good Friday. Sant says, make sure to have 1 personal wealth for a future event. It will... Oh, okay. No spoilers. But yeah, I intend to keep some personal wealth around for sure. We can go into deficit for the country, but personal deficit is a whole different matter altogether. And good stuff, Grad the Manly. Took 2 playthroughs. I'm curious. Again, I haven't finished the game yet. I wanted to kind of experience the later parts of it, especially live together. Yeah, think of the China, man, and oh dear, and the nice grocer. I do find it funny taking out like nice China for dinner, though. You know, went to bed at 5 a.m. Dear Lord, what were you playing? Was it Cyberpunk? Sounds good, typical Majesty. Waking up at 5 a.m. That's... I don't even understand that concept. Unless it happens by accident. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you or Deanna, even if it cost me my life. I'm not going to say that. They don't want their dad to die, hopefully. And what would you have us do? And yet we are still all alive. You will not raise your voice to me, young man. Pulls out belt. I'm actually leaning towards 2. We don't know how old he is, but he's in high school. So, like 16, 17, 18, right, is my assumption there. I think the reason why this game, the reason why the family moments really kind of like gets to me is, I think the reason why they make me think so much is like, I think, like, I've said this before, I've been very fortunate in terms of my family. And I'm trying to think, like, what would my mom and dad do? And I guess that's where my head kind of goes. Like, what makes most sense? He has an opinion, clearly, right? And I don't want to play down his worries. I feel like 2 is the call there. It's like, see, like, again, it's all about tone. Is that like, and what would you have us do? Which I don't think it is. I think it's, and what would you have us do? Like, he's complaining about the fact that we're pretending like nothing happened. So my question is, well, what would you rather we do? Rather than move on, what would you prefer? I feel like that's what it is, right? And I feel like that invites, that like, it empowers him to have an opinion and have that conversation with us. And we want him to feel that way. We want him to feel heard. We don't want him to feel shut down. You know what I mean? I think 2 is the way to go, yeah. Venigna or V-Ninga, I hope I pronounced that correctly, one of those 2 ways. Thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. Man, PartyBot let me down earlier. My apologies there. But yeah, we're going to go with 2. And what would you have us do? I don't know. Talk about it, maybe? Frank got it from his seat. Fine. Let's talk about it. Sit down. Oh no, don't mention what happens at the end. Don't mention it, please. Don't say it in chat. I don't want to read it by mistake. I don't want spoilers. I want surprises. Have a private conversation separately, please. Frank took a seat again, scowling. I know it was a close call, but everything is under control. Yeah, I think that's the most honest kind of answer there. How? How is it under control? My security assured me that they took all the necessary steps. That's about as detailed as he needs to know. I don't... This answer is unfair. That's basically me saying, I don't know. An advocate of staying silent. Oh, in terms of spoilers, you mean? I'm so particular about spoilers. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those people. My security assured me that they took all the necessary steps. The same security that let a person get shot in front of the palace? Frank, listen to your father. If your father says we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. Monica turned to me. We all have to trust each other. Things calmed down a bit at the table. We finished our food in silence. Oh man, I don't know if that's like the ideal end there. Frank got up first and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Deanna up and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. She sat down across from me. Oh, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Dark Ice Guys, hey, how's it going? Having a good weekend, I hope. I guess Netherlands, it's got to be past 5 p.m. now, right? Trying to do my time zone calculation, or close. It's almost the weekend, though. Now the real convo starts. Yeah, classified. Anton, he's still young. Oh, dear. My father would have given me hell for that kind of insubordination. No. There's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. He's scared, Anton. And frankly, he's not the only one. All you need to worry about is putting more delicious dinner on our table, huh? God damn it. Terrible. I definitely need to do like a douchebag playthrough. Definitely. I promise if there truly is any threat to this family, you will be the first to know. I have to let her know, because then, you know, if we ever forced to split up, we both know the reality of the situation, right? Can't leave her in the dark. We're supposed to be a team. I am from Canada, yeah. Risa, hi party, I'm from India. I heard you were too. Where from? No, I'm Canadian. I feel like 3 since... Oh, damn. Sorry, I just read that, Neil. I just read that. You're gonna need a new belt if you keep fixating on the food. Well, that just means I can take off the old one. She got up, stood behind me, and massaged my shoulders for a moment before leaving me alone in the dining room. I sat alone at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. Cabbage? I keep reading it as like cabbage. Yeah, I lived there for three years. I still want to play this game through as an absolute jerk to women. Not that I'm a jerk, but this game has some funny, rough moments. Well, that's the thing about RPGs, right? It lets you make decisions that you would never make in real life. A belt is to keep the pants on when the button goes. Can be used for other things. Had I been lying to Frank and Deanna? Was the threat to my family truly over? Time would tell. Yeah, what is that? Those aren't positive vibes to end dinner on. I think we just have an event here, and there is news. Dinner at the president's house. Protests across Sordland. Protests erupted around Sordland after the death of Bernard Circus, many of which started peaceful, but soon turned violent. Protesters with red youth flags were seen in most central cities around Sordland, carrying out violent riots and organizing protests that disrupted much vital services from being delivered to the Sordish people. Well, that's not helping anybody. Protesters held sit-ins, which were broken up by riot police with tear gas and water cannons in the regions of Bergia, Agenland, and Groenie. Thousands of people poured into Republic Avenue in Lackhaven and Sol Square in Hulsord in response to the Young Swords' attack. Similar protests around Sordland soon turned into violent riots. I wish there were dates or some indication of time progression, because when this happened the day after dinner, like how long has it been? Because the day after dinner is also the day of Bernard Circus's funeral. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be nice to like have some timeline understanding. Is it pants or trousers in Canada? I think we use both. Yeah, it's weird of not knowing the order of things occurring. Yeah, just like... Yeah, like when are we reading this newspaper? This is breakfast the next day morning? Protests in Groenie, reports Sordland today. Sorry, I just read their tagline, Sordland's most sold newspaper. It's like Sordland's most sold newspaper? God, terrible. Protests are taking place throughout the Groenie region in response to the assassination of Bernard Circus. The protesters raised their concerns about the young swords, the increased cost of living, and inequality prevalent in the country. Large rallies have been organized in the city centers of Benfey and Borin. A large congregation of Red Youth members have organized sit-ins and protests aimed at hampering public transport in the city of Valgen, which brought the city to a standstill for a few hours before riot police came to disperse large groups of protesters at transportation nodes. I mean, that's a protest, right? That's a protest, right? So that's the thing, DJ. So that's not how we use pants over here. Though I know that it's the term in at least the UK for what we call underpants. Political chaos, says the Lockhaven Times. Talking about underwear while also reading these like politically charged newspapers. Political violence has surrounded Sordland since yesterday. While officials from the police claim to have the situation under control, protests are turning into riots and violent attacks are occurring around the country. NFP and LUS call for protests. LUS is the oldest NGO of Sordland. Okay, labor union. Okay, they're a labor union. Gotcha. The Royal Guards tried to oppress the workers who they saw as revolutionaries. The LUS has been snatching minor victories against big companies. Okay, this is a labor union. First time we've heard of them. NFP is the National Front Party. Okay. Kesaro Kibner of the National Front Party called a rally to condemn communist influence from United Contana and called the violent protesters as traitors to Sordland. These millennialists are roaming in our streets, conducting violent attacks in disguise as peaceful protesters. We can't let them exploit a man's murder, said Kibner in a press conference. On the other hand, the Labor Union of Sordland has gathered to condemn nationalist violence in Sordland. Okay, so they're calling from two separate sides. That's what I was wondering. I was like, wait, the NFP and the LUS would not work together, I imagine, based on what I've read about them. And they're not working together, just to be clear. So yes, on the other hand, the Labor Union of Sordland has gathered to condemn nationalist violence in Sordland. The protests gathered crowds of several thousands, and agitators from both sides in Holsord, and acts of vandalism occurred. Katarina Horton accused Kibner for provoking the public. She is the Sordish labor leader. Okay. Politician and activist of Bludish descent, member of the Assembly, and the current spokesperson of the Labor Union of Sordland. Young swords vandalized shops. Oh man, things are catching fire here, man. Things are catching fire. A group of people with young swords flags have vandalized a dozen shops in the trade district of Anrika, specifically targeting the Bludish and Agno-Sordish minorities. The shop owners who defended themselves were wounded in the attacks. The local police broke the groups apart. NFP office burned. Oh dear. A group of violent militants have assaulted the National Front Party headquarters in Morna and committed arson. Firefighters have been called to the scene, where fires raged for hours on end. Several nearby houses burned to the ground before it was brought under control. I'm trying to figure out the bias of the Lockhaven Times, because again, every paper has their bias, right? Young swords with swords. Oh, that's too good. Against the river, I cannot read Cyrillic, so let's avoid that unless we're saying spasiba, or da, which I can read. Should we use the army? Don't know if that helps. Don't know if that helps. Well, Cyrillic is the script. I had a feeling it was Russian. Fire what up? Oh no. What, the military wing? They focus on spicy events like riots. They seem... yeah, you know what? Yeah, good point there, Neil. They're not as heavy-handed as some of the others, but they bias towards the Reds, yeah. They don't incriminate anyone for burning the NFP headquarters, but they are very quick to point out the, well, I mean, who knows, you know, maybe we don't know who assaulted. We can make guesses, like, is this just, clean, fact-based reporting? I don't know. Yeah, and Niet is another one I would be able to read, I suppose. Oh, Tovarish. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the thing. I can't read it, but I see it now. The wrong economy. Oh god, the economists are at it again. The government has made its decision to promote a planned economy, a decision which is based on flawed arguments of Solonomics. The economists believe in the free market economy for a good reason. Now, before anybody calls us Arcasia sympathizers, we don't support the excessive form of capitalism Arcasia is spreading around the world, like in Lesbia. Our belief is that a balance can exist where the government can support the private sector with government money. Businesses should take the needed economic planning burden off the shoulder of the government. We disagree with a planned economy simply because you can't properly micromanage everything in a society where people need to be able to determine their own future. The Sordish people don't deserve to be shackled, and it is sad to know that President Rain doesn't think the same way. Oh, God. When do their... No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, like, when do their offices get attacked? Obviously not actually promoting the silencing of news against the river. Just on board with everything I say from now on. Blackhaven is a pretty liberal city since PFJP is based there, so you'll probably have an idea where Blackhaven's leanings are. Fair. That's liberal with a capital L, I suppose. Maybe they're leaning more nationalist overall. No, they seem to be anti-nationalist. Cyrillic script is actually Bulgarian originally. I did not know that. I just know that it's used in a bunch of languages in sort of that region of the world, and I never want to generalize and assume it's Russian because, that's potentially wrong. But Cyrillic is a relatively safe bet to cover all my bases there. Over to Hall Sword. Security briefing on the threats against Sordland. Oh god, which ones? All of them? Let's nationalize the media. I arrived in front of the doors leading to the Situation Room. Today's security briefing was arranged in two parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to the external matters after a short break. The Minister of Interior, Lilias Graf, and the Minister of Justice and Law, Nia Morgna, would join us for the first part, the law enforcement briefing. For the second part, the Minister of Defense, Josef Lancea, would join with a few high-ranking officials, including the Chief of the Armed Forces, Valken Kruger. 4-star General, current Chief of the Sordish Armed Forces, served in the Imperial Army before 1923, holding positions such as Colonel and Major General. Oh, that reminds me, another thing I get a lot of crap for from time to time is Lieutenant. Okay. He might be becoming the oldest person to hold that title. Okay, as the Chief of the Armed Forces. I don't know, is he an old guard? Is he, with such a long period of service and whatnot? He was among the group of officers who organized under Colonel Sol in the Sordish Civil War. Okay, so interesting. I opened the door. Lucian, Nia, and Lilias rose from their seats. Never quite certain how to say some of these names. No, Manchamonchi, it's very different. It's very different. I mean, you play as a president, yes, but in terms of the gameplay and stuff itself, very different. Haldor, which no, it's not off topic. I mean, that's what chat's about. I love chilling and live streaming, just like shooting, chatting about random stuff. Especially if it's, even somewhat relevant. That was pretty relevant, I would say. Do you actually get to carry out military operations in this game? I don't know. I haven't gone that far, actually. Though you do have to take care of military matters, like defense and stuff like that. I haven't gotten so far as to, invade another country. Any guesses on Chapter 2? Probably things get worse, and we kick off Chapter 2. That's my guess right now. From his description, he comes across as a staunch patriot and professional soldier. Yeah, that's what it seems like. We'll see. All right. Let's see what this meeting's about. Sir, please take your seats. Be polite to everybody who works with us, obviously. Everyone in the room sat down except for Lucian. He put on his glasses and went through the documents in front of him. Shortly after, he raised his head to address the attendees. Mr. President, ladies, we'll kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I'm assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We all have busy schedules, so without further ado, I will jump into our first topic. Oh, if this guy could lead every meeting in the world, humanity would be, so far in the future. We'd have flying cars, we'd have a cure for all the cancers. We would, I like this. This is what meetings are supposed to be like. Stay on topic. Let's move. Let's go. There's work to get done. As we feared, the political atmosphere was worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. What is the status on the Bernard Circus investigation? I have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder of Bernard Circus has concluded. Great news. I'm eager to hear about the details. He did not ask for a pre-meeting for this meeting. Yo, classified. Are you, triggering my trauma response here, man? Pre-meeting for the meeting. After further research and testimonies, we've confirmed the intention and also the events leading up to the shooting. A few days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on a young Sword's local leader in Jen. We believe the young swords then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. So who was it earlier in chat that said that it was the young swords that instigated the violence, that started or initiated the violence? And this is why we investigate everything, okay? Turns out the Red Youth initiated the violence, and then the young swords escalated with revenge. Since he often spoke against the young swords and nationalist sentiments in the assembly, he was a big target, not to mention his radical communist views. There you go, against the river, there it is. No, I mean, there's nothing to apologize for. I just think it's interesting. I find this kind of stuff fun, right? It's just like, I was totally on the same page as well, and then boom, here we go. Turns out we were wrong to potentially jump to a conclusion there. Next chapter, Lucian becomes president and Sordland becomes the greatest superpower in the history of the universe. Both as bad as each other, Jazzy B, yeah. Political violence is political violence, right? Oh, hey, I didn't even read this. Political violence needs to stop. Radical Sordland just lost a great writer for what? He had it coming then? Oh my god. Yeah, political violence needs to stop. Left or right, doesn't matter. Stop it. Well, freedom of speech, not freedom of goddamn killing each other on the streets. Yes, we've kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that there are now new triggers. Is he literally talking about the weapons that have been shipped into our country from across the borders? New triggers, huh? Is Lilius prone to making puns? Handed over the report and pointed at a highlighted section of the document. Oh my god, he actually... This is actually about foreign intervention. Or foreign interference, I should say. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youth have a clear link to United Contana. These guys are... Well, I think it's very clear who these guys are, right? Just look at the flag. What does this mean? Are you sure? This is proof that they're meddling in our affairs. Well, let's see. What does this mean? He might have more details here. He had it coming and go in the notes, but shouldn't be said aloud. Oh my god, Natalie. What does this mean? That the communist superpower is meddling in our affairs. Okay, okay. I thought you'd have more insight, Lilius, but okay. Several Red Youth members with ties to United Contana have been detained, and the information extracted from them points to a preparation for a communist uprising in Sordland. Please don't use the word extracted like that. That has certain implications to me. It isn't unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think this case is a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Sordland. Nia eagerly lifted her hand. I motioned for her to speak. Raising your hand? What? I went over the report in detail. It would be wrong to jump to conclusions about a clear foreign interference yet. United Contana has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Sordland. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I trust Miss Graff's judgment. United Contana is clearly trying to expand its influence. I also don't want to jump to conclusions immediately. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. I think that's the way to go. Literally, we just learned that our initial assumptions about the political assassination were, well, conclusions we jumped to. Let's, take that in stride. I don't want to jump to conclusions immediately. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. We also don't want to create a crisis with a superpower. Saketh, what happened is we have reason to believe that United Contana, the communist superpower out there, is involved in helping the Red Youth be a part of the political instability here. I mean, Alex Roosterfield, we don't know that that's what they did, right? Until we need to do an investigation. Jumping to a conclusion without an investigation is a problem. Don't create a crisis. I don't need, tanks rolling in. Let's see what's going on. It's kind of weird that you can't see how time progresses. Yeah, I was commenting on that earlier as well, Haldor. It'd be nice to have like date lines or something. Like the opening, the prologue had the timelines across the top, Nearly 3 decades ago, they funded General Rickard and tried to establish a communist dictatorship in our country. If it was not for Colonel Saul, we would have seen the real crisis. Well, I do like Lilius. I do see what she's going for there. I'm just saying we should research a bit more. She took a sip from her glass of water and continued. Oh no, Alex, that winky face. That's a very ominous winky face. The economy and the social situation are already bad. We don't need another failure. Oh dear, can you imagine? Torpor Games, hey, how's it going? Folks, that is the developer hanging out in chat over here. Congratulations on the release of a most wondrous game last week. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and hello and welcome. Sorry to like put the spotlight on you like that. I hope you don't mind. Who killed the commie dude? It was a person from the Young Swords. They are the Nationalist wing, the far right Nationalists. Yeah. Our police chief, Carl Grieser, has linked the funding channel to the United Contana Consulate in Benfey. Oh, okay, so we have like a direct connection here. Also, new plays. Thank you for subscribing earlier, buddy. Missed that. I was in the middle of reading something, but thank you very much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the show. Folks, if you are enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button down below. Again, it always helps me know what folks want to see and how they want to see it if you're enjoying live streams and whatnot. How much is the game? Let me just do a quick check over here, actually. 1 second, folks, as I do a quick check. And send a link over, because if you actually want to pick the game up while supporting the channel as well as charity as well, you can do it at this link over here. It's just 14 bucks. Torpor Games, appreciate it. We have read through hundreds and hundreds of pages of feedback, both negative and positive, working on more improvements and fixes. That is awesome to hear that you guys are still, working away at the game. I've loved it through and through so far, so that's very exciting to hear. I can't wait to like revisit it after you've made further adjustments. Super cool. Do you have plans to add a new DLC? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if you want to be bombarded with questions and stuff, but I would love to know if it's open for discussion or conversation. I would love to know what plans, if any, you're able to share for the future of the game. As we all know, the enemies of Sordland are many, but we also have threats inside the country. And by the way, I should also mention, if you don't want to answer questions, just let me know and let us all know, and we'll stop harassing you. As the government, we have all the power to deal with any threat. That's a little, untrue. Our country always had issues. This is part of our job. True. We need to remain vigilant. That's a bit of a truism, isn't it? It's just like, yeah, we need to remain vigilant. I agree, but it's like, is that a none of these are substantial like action statements, But we need to remain vigilant is I think what we'll go with. First, we are focused on addressing the worst issues. Then we talk about future like DLCs. We are good with questions. Sounds cool, and I love those priorities. Man, exciting stuff. If we give up essential freedoms to purchase temporary security, we deserve neither freedoms nor security. Okay, look, that you know what? That one you spot in my notes here. I already was liking her previously based on like how she was talking and what she was saying, but to me that is the moment of truth. That's the moment of truth. Subliminal Gravy. What's this? I found your channel when you were covering CK3 Love Strat games, and it's nice to find someone that's engaging to listen to as well as see play. Well, hey, thank you very much for the kind words, Subliminal Gravy. I appreciate that greatly, and I'm glad you found the channel and are checking out some other stuff as well. Party in the Maroon Palace, Peter style. Peter style. Okay, so he very clearly is meant to be a bro. Very clearly. We need a DLC where, we need a DLC where Peter is the president. President Peter in charge. No hearts to be found. We'll find out soon enough, Natalie, if we need to add hearts. This is debatable, but yes, we know that more security and surveillance caused... Oh, we know what more security and surveillance caused to this country under President Saul. Let's not forget that President Saul, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on... Oh, look at that, trying to get the last word in there. Come on, Lilius. Come on. I seem... Oh no, this is a problem. This might be a problem. Our highest internal threat comes from the estimated 20,000 strong Bludish Freedom Front led by the imprisoned Delin Arge. They are a banned political organization, now a militant force that is trying to incite racial violence. Yeah, that's not okay. They make a lot of noise but have little substance. A barking dog doesn't bite. Are they supported by our Bludish citizens? Are they cooperating with any Bludish political organizations? Okay, do they have the support of our citizenry? Is this an actual separatist force that we need to worry about? Lilius is definitely old guard. She seems to be a bit of a mixed bag there, doesn't she? Will you keep up the Workers and Resources Soviet Republic series? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely against the river. I've been enjoying that way too much to drop it now. Jazzy B, I now imagine that party has a notepad with I like and names of people in the chat. Oh, just a little like set of sticky notes on the side here. Are they supported by our Bludish citizens? This is important to know. To some extent. Luckily, they couldn't attract a wide audience of Bloods, but they could potentially attract thousands if anti-Bludish sentiment spreads in Sordland again. Of course, you know, response to back and forth. There you go. See, I see you in the comment. I see you in the chat. Okay, this is good. We just need to make sure that that neither side starts, you know, popping shots, I guess. Let's point to page 3 in the report. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to the Rumburg border. They were filled with military-grade Ka-74s, officially known as the Calsington Automatica. There you go. We expect that more have been smuggled in since a group of Bloods were caught with these guns at a checkpoint not far away. Well, we know that we found some in the deeper into our territory, right? Rumburg has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time. I'm not surprised that they would attempt to weaponize the Bludish people against us. Rumburg is the real problem. This is worrying, very worrying. Can we make any direct correlations to blame Rumburg? I was expected that Rumburg would undermine us, but this is too far. We need to keep level-headed with Rumburg. They're looking for reasons to take action. We can't let anyone meddle with our internal stability. I think that bottom one might be what I want to go with. Rumburg, 121 million, GDP of 793 billion. Thornborough. Oh, okay. quite English in that case with their constitutional monarchy here. I wonder if we have like a reference of like how much more powerful they are than us. Believed to be heavily involved in the Welland Civil War and the Sordland Civil War. Strong economy, below average civil rights, few political freedoms, heavy promotion of science and military tech, experienced a very rapid technological development and are believed to possess significant experimental weapons. Yikes, okay. Member of the Organization of Merkopan Economic Development, OMEC, and member of the Alliance of Nations. Okay. I'm a little worried about the kingdom up there. A little worried. We can't let anyone meddle with our internal stability. We have to be careful about it. We do need to be level-headed. But yeah, if we instigate them... Wow, they're over twice the size of our military strength and technologically more advanced as well, I would imagine. When Lucian said he was worried, did he take off his glasses? That is an important question. Will we ever know? Level head. Can't let anyone meddle. We do need to keep a level head, though. Diplomacy, rather than military shows of force and... Oh, dear. Let's keep a level head. Let's go with that. I was initially going to go with this, but I think that is implicit with this statement as well. It's bad that I could gladly spend long time browsing the codex. Nah, the codex is very nicely written and very detailed. It's impressive. And like I said previously, like it lets you really get into character and stuff. They will play dirty while we play nice. It is a battle we will lose. This is grave news, but we must be careful not to stoke the fires of anti-Bludish sentiment. What is the second most important threat? It is the gang violence that is threatening the Nargis and Agenland regions. 2 prominent organized crime families are at war, and the potential for bloodshed is real. Okay. Why can't we just arrest them? Yeah, surely they've been caught on tax evasion or something. Which 2 crime families? One is known as the Coronelli, and the other as the Skinner Cartel. Oh, dear Lord, that name. They used to be allies until a recent disagreement. Both are active in the cities of Narbel and Estord. Where is Narbel? Up over here, and Estord is... Okay, so they're in this general region over here, to our west. They're playing with fire. I want them gone, for good. Lilias, I trust that you can handle them. They're insignificant, not worth our attention. No. Organized crime is definitely worth our attention. Definitely. I cannot read Cyrillic, please. Only English in chat, please, and thank you. I'm going to trust Lilius with this, the Minister of Interior. It's about delegation, right? It's about delegation. I'm doing my best, sir. Good stuff. That's all I can ask for. Lilius Graf sighed deeply. I shall be honest with you. With our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia, Nargis, and Agenland. If the law enforcement budget isn't increased, I can't be fully responsible for what happens. Our police units are spread thin as is. You'll do your job whatever happens. Don't come to me with excuses. Okay, well, in light of this information, I might increase the law enforcement budget. It's a bit of it's a balancing act, right? It's a bit of a balancing act, and we only have 2 units of government budget left. So I might increase the law enforcement budget. We'll see what it gets weighed up against. No, against the river, please don't join in. I will start timing people out for typing in Cyrillic. I can only ask kindly so many times. When can I buy my Peter custom beer coaster? Okay. We will rid our country from separatists and violent thugs if you do so. Good to know. I wish you would stop using the word thugs, Lilius. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence and is very likely the reason why these weapons were smuggled in. A higher budget could help us end that. Oh, is that what we're balancing? No! English! English only! English only. English only. Alright? Please. Valid points. Corruption is the root of all evil after all. The ministry must tackle the issue with persistence. These threats seem more direct than a few bribes. Corruption is the root of many evils. Okay, typos and puns are also a welcome language. Valid points. Corruption is the root of all evil after all. I think I'll go with that. There you go. We can look into corruption once the weapons have been found and the gangs have been beaten. Just like previous administrations, kicking the can down the road. This is what's destroying our institutions. You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? Gonna have to change the order. I think I like Nia above Lilius. I think. We're gonna find out. I think. Lilius and Nia were openly scowling at each other. Lilius turned back to her notes. It had to be done. If I can't read, I can't moderate. If I can't moderate, then... I mean, yeah, that's fine against the river, but like, you know, you might be well-intentioned, but there might be people who aren't. So just keep it in English, and that way I can read. It makes it easier for me to read and engage with chat and stuff as well. 6X Lord, it is super cool. Should I watch episode 1 first, or will I catch on? You know, you should watch episode 1 first, because there's a lot of really interesting, like, events and moments and stuff. As much as I'd love to have you during the live stream, obviously, and hanging out, there's some cool moments that I think are worth checking out. I don't know, chat, what do you guys think? You think episode 1 is necessary watching, or you think we can, you know, folks can just kind of skip in? Thanks for understanding Against the River. Thank you. I was literally 2 seconds away from doing it myself, just sat down. Sounds good, Spindle. All good, buddy. Prologue is good. Yeah, I would say it's worth checking out. And if you catch up, then next week we'll be back with another episode of this on Friday. I think we'll keep this going, right, folks? What do you say, chat? Keep this going, right? Well, this concludes the topics for the internal portion. Thank you for the updates, Mrs. Graff, Mrs. Morgana. Thank you for the overview. I should thank them. Prologue is a movie of its own. Yeah, that's true, too. Sounds good, 6X Lord. Glad to hear it. And enjoy the show. Let me know what you think. And again, hopefully I can catch you during the stream next week, perhaps. Hey, party, once you start the construction of the highway, make sure to read The Economist. That might give you an idea of what construction company to choose. Okay, good to know, good to know, good to know. Total Tank Simulator? I don't even know that that's a thing. I will check it out. I will look it up. Wickles, how's it going? Glad you can make it. Were you lurking, or did you just make it here? Have a good day, says Nia Morgana. Until next time, says Lilius Graf. Not wishing me a good day? Fine. The 2 ministers left the room. We took a short break before continuing to the second part. Upon invitation, Josef Lancea, along with 3 high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defense, walked into the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, the chief of the armed forces. Josef made his way towards the table, while the others stood by the door. I feel like we're about to talk to some old guards and some potentially very stubborn old members of the old guard, you know? Yeah, good point as well, MN121MN. I do have timestamps, if I recall correctly. I did put timestamps in there. Mr. President? Joseph, welcome. I brought General Kruger with me due to the escalation on our borders. General Kruger stepped forward and saluted. He had a strong jaw with sharp cheekbones. His tall stature, uniform, and medals, combined with his deep and intense stare, made him look threatening. He was in his 70s, yet he had a bulky body that was a result of his commando training. Not only was he the second most decorated officer in Sordland, he was also the longest serving. Salute him. We're Commander-in-Chief, right? The right thing to do is to salute him. If it's lagging a little bit, you should definitely refresh. My internet is working silky smooth as I jinx it. Knock on wood. But yeah, let's go ahead and salute him. Yeah, if you're getting some lag, just refresh the page. I think that's, yeah, just hit refresh there against the river. That should work for you. He smiled at the gesture and bowed his head in respect. Good. Yes. Bow before me. I am your king, President. Yosef tapped his foot impatiently. He seemed uneasy with the presence of another high-ranking officer in the room. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Gentlemen, thanks for coming to this significant gathering. Let's begin. Yosef and Vulcan took their seats at the table while the rest of the officers stood by the door. At attention, I hope. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders towards Rumburg is very tense. We're observing deployments of divisions closer to our borders. Oh, no, here we go. Rumburg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decades and also interfered in Agnolia, but now they have turned their sights on us. Oh dear, okay. Well, what is our current strategy? Or what is your current strategy, I suppose? Patrolling close to the borders with our border force and keeping Army Reserve divisions nearby. It seems like they want to increase the pressure both externally and internally. Mr. President, if I may. Please, General. The picture is becoming clearer. The latest information from the interior about the weapons caches, and now there is an active military buildup close to our borders. The entire situation was analyzed by our general staff, and our prediction is a future territorial incursion by Rumburg. Oh dear. Let them come, we will give them hell? I don't think so. Didn't we just talk about how they outnumber us 2-1, more than 2-1? Typical Majesty asks, how long are we streaming today? The plan was about 2 hours, so we're roughly around that mark. So we're going to be doing this conversation, see what that leads to, and that might be the stream for today. So we're in the closing sections today here. Don't let yourself get pushed into a situation where you are made to look like the aggressor. Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, we're not going to make the first strike. For sure not. We have to be diplomatic. You know, we try to prevent violence in the area, in the neighborhood. But that means we have to be very careful about the statements we make. I have complete trust in the general staff. Oh dear. That implies that I believe they're 100% right. I mean, I shouldn't not trust my military wings, right? Like, oh yeah, we're not going to make a first strike. No, that'd be terrible. That'd be terrible. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want to say the threat is exaggerated either. Jeez. I have complete trust in the general staff. Let's see what they say to that. I need allies among our military. We will not let you down, Mr. President. The general staff is composed of the smartest military individuals. I require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then we can stand strong against our enemies. The enlarged armed forces will hold them at bay. Numbers? Vulcan is right. We do need an increase in the military budget to have a more capable force to face a regional power, to defend Sordland. 2 of our most talented officers are voicing a common opinion. That is an understatement. Times are changing and war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must be prepared. During the election, you said nothing about focusing on our military. I ask you to reconsider and to increase the military budget. The future and safety of Sordland is in your hands. a man of my word, Yosef. Just because I didn't say anything about increasing military budget. Army or police? Yeah, that might be the internal versus external threat. You know what? No. I feel like classified, I feel like that would be too easy. It's got to be like army or feed the people. Police or healthcare. Like, that's going to be what ends up happening, isn't it? That's going to be what ends up happening. I'm a man of my word, Yosef. That is a valuable trait, Mr. President. However, it will not help when the enemy armies are invading our cities. Our forces would crumble under a decrease, and Rumburg would be much more compelled to exploit our weakness. Well, we're not going to decrease. It's not either or, folks. We can keep it as is. Our country hasn't fallen to any invading force for 200 years. You cannot let it happen, Mr. President. We could also find regional allies like Volksland or Lesbia to deter Rumburg. Ah, there are several options on the table. See, I like this. I like this. Lucian presenting us with the options. That's what I need, is options, gentlemen. Rumburg wouldn't attack any nation allied with any superpower. Nope. No. We are non-aligned. We stick non-aligned. Sordland must stand on its own 2 feet and be able to defend itself. These options should be considered. I'm going to go with number 3 there. These options should be considered. Diplomacy is a serious, tool. Can be used for all kinds of stuff. We can't sell our nation. Exactly. We cannot ally with a superpower after, committing to non-alignment at the beginning. BC74SJ, never been on a live stream before, but wanted to say your positive style got me into workers and resources, and I have over 600 hours in it now, just in a few months. Awesome, man. Glad to hear you're enjoying the game. It is such a fun game, and thank you for the kind words as well. Glad you could hop in for the live stream here for a moment here. Thanks for dropping by. But yes, thank you. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm going to say these options should be considered. Make some alliances, make some bonds. That helps in other ways as well, right? They could be considered, but why pander to others when we can solve these issues ourselves? We have no true friends outside these borders. Well, that's a little isolationist. Everyone fell silent when a soldier entered the room and let Yosef Lancea know that a call had come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. Yosef left the room to answer. A few minutes later, he entered the room again. His expression had changed. Oh, no. Mr. President, there's been Rumburgian military activity close to the Narbil border. I just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we should go to the ministry and get further updates from our branches. Understood. Raising military readiness is the first call of action. If there is truly an extraordinary attempt, we will relay it to you immediately and wait for further orders, Mr. President. Oh, no. Remain calm. Make sure not to escalate things further. Nobody wants a war. Escalation is dangerous. Make sure they know we're observant and ready. That sounds... That sounds escalatory, Remain calm. Remain calm. Do not escalate things further. Nobody wants a war here. We'll exercise utmost caution, Mr. President. Hail Sordland. Hail. They saluted and left the room. Rumburg was already testing us, and the reports from the interior indicates interference inside our borders. Communists, nationalists, Bludish rebels, Rumburg expansionism. What was next? Sordland had always been a key piece in the chessboard of the global rivalry between Arcasia and United Quantana, but in the recent years, there was no such aggression from Rumburg, not at these levels at least. All it takes is one tiny spark to start the flames of war. The phone rang. Rumburg had decided to close their consulate in Lackhaven. Oh, damn. Closing a consulate is no small matter. Closing a consulate, it's not the embassy, it's the consulate. But it's still problematic. Still problematic. It is definitely a diplomatic escalation there. And if they're closing their consulates, they might close their embassy. And if they close their embassy, that's a big problem. This is a big problem. This might be much more serious and much more imminent than I'd initially anticipated. Oh dear. Classified coming through with that super chat. Set DEFCON 2 and get the Whopper ready. Thank you very much for that super chat, buddy. Thank you very much to help in helping support the channel in the stream. I appreciate it. And yeah, honestly, DEFCON levels seriously need to be switched around over here a little bit. I think that's a little concerning. That is a little concerning, folks. But yes, from internal threats to external threats, from internal concerns to external interferences, this seems like an excellent time to call it a stream. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. I hope you all enjoyed the various adventures we had in trying to be a good family man and trying to take care of our, wife and kids. And I hope you enjoyed the ever-escalating situation within these beautiful borders and without. I'm very concerned about what's going to happen next. Folks, the next session for this will be on Friday. Very happy to see so many of y'all coming through to hang out, just for a nice chill stream. Very glad that y'all took a liking to this game as well. I've been loving it. It's so well done. It really hits home on a variety of points in a variety of ways. We didn't have too much voting today in chat, but hopefully next session we'll have some situations where there is that much uncertainty and we can do a little bit of voting action again. But yeah, I hope y'all had a good time. Of course, a massive thanks has to go out as always to all of you who joined in on the action today, who helped support the stream as well with that super chat at the end there, coming in at the death. Thank you very much again for that. It really does help the channel. And of course, no session is truly complete without saying a massive thanks to all of our channel members and patrons who have been supporting this channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And this thing is also not centered. I don't know why. Why are you doing this to me, Streamlabs? Why is this not working? Let's go ahead and can I make you full screen? I can't make you full screen. Why can't I make you full screen? Can't even adjust the size of this thing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Boom, there we go. Can't have that being small on screen. Yeah, a couple of technical adjustments on my side over the last week have definitely caused some things that I'm glad I'm solving. Doing it live. But yes, I think this is a fun Friday activity. Again, I do hope y'all have enjoyed, and hopefully y'all can join me next week as well. We'll resume at the same time. But as I was saying, yes, a massive thanks to the channel members and patrons who have been supporting this channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, all of you who are watching, whether you're watching live or watching the VOD, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, if you are watching the VOD, don't hesitate to leave a like down below. If you're watching live and you had a good time, don't hesitate to leave a like down below. Again, it really lets me know people's interest levels, what I should do, how I should go about doing it. I do read through all the comments as well. So yeah, really makes a very big difference in a variety of things. YouTube Sark over there dropping the Discord link. Make sure you join our Discord if you would like to join a massive community of fantastic people hanging out, playing all sorts of games, including, for example, what you saw today, other strategy games, management games, things like that. So do not hesitate to join on in. Adios indeed. Farewell to all of you. Vectern Sis Da. I love the universe this world creates for itself. Goodbye, Alex. Goodbye. Where there is Discord. Sorry, Jazzy, go on. What's the second half of that? Wickles, sorry I missed most of it. I'll have to watch the VOD. No worries at all. No worries at all. Glad you could join in for a little bit. Always nice to have people drop by. But yes, there were definitely some incidents that will require catching up on with today's session. But folks, again, thank you all for joining in. Enjoy your Fridays. Enjoy your weekend. We are, of course, back on Monday at the same time with Crusader Kings 3. That Maghrebi madness lives on. Tuesday, again, hopefully the internet will hold up and we'll be back with some more Phantom Brigade as well. We might actually have another day of streaming being added next week. We'll see about that. There are some other games coming out that I really want to take a look at and check out, and there's only so much time. But folks, whenever it is, I'll catch you, whether it's in the Discord, in the comments, or at one of the upcoming live streams. Until then, cheers.